Well, hey there everybody, it's Snackbox coming to you from an absolutely gorgeous day here in Atlanta, Georgia. I am super amped to be here for two reasons. Number one, we are here celebrating 600 subscribers at Outside Comfort Zone, so we have a couple of door prizes coming up at the very end. Make sure you stay tuned for that. And in the process of getting there, what we need to do is talk about one of my all-time favorite backpacking snacks. It's a classic, it's old school. We are going to make artisan gorp. That's right, good old raisins and peanuts. I'm gonna show you how to make it. No reason to be intimidated by this recipe. It's a great one. You can get all the kids and family involved. There's no cooking whatsoever. It's an absolutely delicious treat full of vitamins and minerals and all that energy you're gonna need to tackle your next big outdoor adventure. We got a lot to cover, not a lot of time. Let's get to it. So for anybody who spent any amount of time thinking about planning, going hiking, going backpacking, going camping, you'll know that this is one of those classic recipes. Good old raisins and peanuts, also known as gorp. This is basically the base for any and all trail mixes you will ever encounter in the history of your life. So we got to talk about how to make it. A lot of times people think, you know what, I better just go to the store and buy this stuff pre-assembled because there's no way that I have the cooking skills necessary to actually put together something worthwhile in the trail. I'm here to tell you that that's not necessarily the case, that I believe you can make this recipe. It's pretty simple. I think you're gonna be able to do it. Here's what you're gonna need to make some gorp, good old raisins and peanuts. Of course, you're gonna need raisins, so you're gonna start with some Raisinets. These guys here, loaded with raisins. They got some chocolate around it. We're gonna talk about what to do there. And then also peanut M&Ms. That's because you're gonna need the peanuts. So go ahead and get these. These are gonna be a good way to go. And then finally, when you're mixing it together, you're gonna need a little plastic bag to put it in. As you're working, you're probably gonna want a little bit of water. I've got it here in this brand new Outside Comfort Zone mug. Look at this. We got the new logo, that's right. Oh, did you catch a peek of that? Bam. We're coming up in the world. This is beautiful. If you notice, this is just beautiful. Details, beautiful. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and get started with it. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna start with the M&Ms. You gotta open the bag. My pro tip here is actually you're gonna open it from the corner. If you do that, you get a nice little dispenser. We'll get to the Raisinets in just a minute. Take about 3, depending on your jowl size. You're gonna take 3 to 5 M&Ms, pop them in. Here's the key though, you don't wanna chew. If you chew, then you're gonna crunch up the peanuts. So you don't wanna do that. So you're just gonna like let it sit. You gotta get through that candy shell first. That's one of those things that a lot of people, when they're first getting into gorp making, they start crunching through and they're like, I couldn't find the peanuts because you chewed it all up. Bad move, you're not gonna have good gorp if you do that. One of the things I really like about this recipe is that it's like 2 treats, right? You get the treat of making it and then you get the treat of eating it out on the trail. Now, if you have a trip coming up sooner, this recipe is sort of like the crock pot. So I'm only taking 3 at a time right now. But like I said, if you've got a trip coming up sooner, what you may need to do is just go like, you gotta go ham with it, you know? You gotta make sure that you have enough nutrition for your hike. And that's not gonna happen with just a few M&Ms at a time. It'll take forever. Really get in there, set them in your jowls. That's gonna get you really good to go. And then you just wait, you just gotta wait for it. There's no substitute. You know, a lot of people try to rush this, and if you go crunching, your gorp is gonna be bad. I think I might be able to get them all here, so let's see if we can do this. Very important here that I'm not putting so many in that when I'm telling you cool stories about my life, that I'm crunching on them. There we go, we got M&Ms, we got gorp working. Gonna take just a minute or 2. Let's see how this goes. A lot of people ask me, they say, Snackbox, tell me where you learn all these recipes. And I gotta tell you, a lot of it is just me like testing things out and trying out what I like. And one of the things that I did is I tried looking online for recipes, but when I go through the online web pages, they're just like lots of stories about things, and you gotta scroll all the way to the bottom to get a recipe. And so if you try to do that, you might end up never really finding a recipe. We've all been there. What you gotta do is just try. There's a saying that you should pursue love and cooking with reckless abandon. I couldn't endorse that idea more. Right now in the cooking process, what I'm noticing is, you know, the candy shells are starting to crack. I'm starting to get a little lightheaded and dizzy from all the sugar, but that's okay. Again, you don't get great gorp without a little bit of sacrifice. Right now is a really great time for me to remind you that if you find me on Instagram at Backcountry Champion, send me a message. I'll send you one of these sweet Outside Comfort Zone stickers. No questions asked. You don't even have to follow me on Instagram. Don't have to subscribe here. It's just my way of saying thank you to you all. As we're looking ahead here, we've got 600 subscribers. It's really fun. Been a great time getting to know a lot of you, and I just want to say thank you to all the support and all the people out there who've been watching my videos. It means the world to me, and that's what allows me to bring you these great, easy homemade recipes like gorp. Be sure to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to have you be a part of this community where I bring you all sorts of new recipes Every week, new recipes, new hiking tips, tricks, you name it, whatever you want. I also want to point out that this is a great recipe for kids. So if you got little ones who always want to help out in the kitchen, there are no knives involved, there are no ovens, not even an easy bake oven. You teach kids recipes like this and they will fall in love with the outdoors and be there to carry on the tradition of hiking. It's also a really great recipe for this sort of pandemic window because you can do this. You don't have to be in a really tightly enclosed kitchen. Everybody's packed on top of each other. You can go spread out socially distant and then just be sure when you work your way through, you just spread out and then you get out your bag. You can have everybody get their own bag or you can share, it doesn't matter, it's totally up to you. You invite the whole neighborhood to help. Everybody spaces out, you're nice and safe that way. And then once you get down to the peanuts, you're just gonna save them in the back, you know? So there we go. We got our peanuts here. That's halfway to Gorp, so we got the good old peanuts right now. Now what we need obviously are some of these raisins. We've got the Raisinets just as our base point there. Same idea holds true here. This one is a little tougher because, you know, those raisins have the little nooks and crannies. Not really sure if they actually have nooks and crannies. Might just be nooks, might just be crannies. Let me know in the comments below if you know whether or not Raisinets have nooks, crannies, or both. I'd be really curious to know the difference. I went ahead and got the dark chocolate ones. The reason is that dark chocolate is healthier for you. So if you're a chef like me, you know, I'm not a Michelin 3-star chef. I'm more of a, I like to think of myself more as like a Goodyear blimp kind of person. You know what I mean? You're gonna take your Raisinets and you're just gonna start preparing some raisins for your Gorp. Same principle holds true here. I should warn you, I did get a bigger box of Raisinets, so 2 things are really important here. Number 1, be sure that you only do even amounts. If you do uneven amounts of good old raisins and peanuts, then you have to yell the thing that you put in more of the others. So it'd be like, good old raisins, peanuts. You don't want to have to do that in the woods because it's going to disturb the quiet. Just make sure that you're doing an even balance of both of them. This one does take a little longer because the candy shell isn't there. These are really, really tasty. So we're just gonna let this sit. We're gonna let it percolate a little bit. This is also a really good one for like road trips. If you want to do like a road trip, you can make all sorts of this. You can do all the Gorp you want and just make sure that you have enough Raisinets and peanut M&Ms to be able to make it, or else you're gonna end up with not enough Gorp for everybody to share. It's always polite if you have some brand new artisan Gorp when you get to your campsite. Go ahead and offer it to everybody. Say, hey, listen, I worked really hard on this Gorp and I'd like to share it with you. It's one of those cultural things that Americans like to connect with people through homemade food. Share your gift of cooking and let them know. Say, hey, Snackbox told me this recipe and it's really delicious and I'd like to share it with you. So I'd like you to dig in and get a big old handful of this Gorp and just enjoy it, and let's just share it together. Hear the beauty of nature and wilderness. I also want to take a minute and let you know that one time I made this Gorp and I tried using plain M&Ms and it doesn't work nearly as well. I can't really tap into why. I made it exactly the same way and for some reason I just wasn't able to capture quite the same essence of Gorp with plain M&Ms. If you have ideas about that, let me know in the comments below as well. I should also note that a lot of people get really limited when they start thinking about Gorp. They think it's only a hiking food. This is a really great one to take to the office. It's a really great one for holiday parties. And you know, as the world starts to open back up, I think people would really appreciate it if you took them some fresh Gorp and said, hey, here's some Gorp. I'd like you to try it and enjoy it here at the office. You could also offer to just do this as a holiday party activity where you bring a bunch of Raisinets and peanut M&Ms and you make that Gorp. It's really pretty tasty. So that's it, everybody. Doesn't have to be scary. It's just regular Gorp. Make it in as big or small batch as you want. Share it with your friends and enjoy it. Hope you find this helpful. And as we talked about at the beginning, here's the big news. I know that we've had a lot of fun making Gorp and making some of the best, freshest artisan Gorp you've probably ever seen in your entire life. But let's get down to brass tacks here. I want to say thank you to you all because you've all been so great to me. This is the Outside Comfort Zone coffee mug. This one was made special for me. I've got a totally different design. It's going to be a surprise to you when you get it. It's not this one, so expect a surprise. It's going to have this brand new sweet Outside Comfort Zone logo. This one is just absolutely beautiful. I love it. Couldn't love it more. It's terrific. We're going to get this out to one of you here. So the winner of the very first 600 subscriber giveaway is Hiking with Whiskers. Now, if you haven't checked out Whiskers' channel, he's getting ready for an AT thru hike in 2022. He does really great videos and uploads frequently, does a really good job of showing his whole prep process. I believe he's within about 4 months of taking off on the trail. So Whiskers, hit me up, send me a message on Instagram to Backcountry Champion, or send me a message to backcountrychampion@gmail.com. Let me know where to send this great coffee mug to you. Really appreciate everybody for subscribing and being a part of this community. I hope you're doing well wherever you are, and I'm looking forward to all the adventures that next year has to bring for us. Grateful for you all. I hope it's beautiful where you are, at least half as beautiful as it is here. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Be well. This is Snackbox out.